I'm turning this moment into a fresh YouTube-style take that feels like a creator riffing live, not a transcript. Here's a completely original, commentary-driven script built from core ideas, with strong opinions, context, and speculative insight. I'm not just reporting what happened in Shanghai, I'm asking what it means for Hamilton, for fans, and for the broader vibe of the season. Let's dive in. What happened in a nutshell, but from a sharper angle. Hook. Imagine sitting in a stadium and suddenly a former TV legend appears on screen and you don't see it coming. That shock moment. It's a storytelling device more than a cameo. I think this reveals how big motorsport fans have trained themselves to expect the unexpected in every press moment. Context: Hamilton is at a Shell event in Shanghai ahead of a weekend that already feels like it's under a cloud of new rules and high expectations. The public message from a TV icon adds a layer of cross-genre spice to a sport that thrives on star power and nostalgia. Personal take: what makes this moment interesting is how it blurs lines between TV culture and live sport. It's a reminder that brands, legends, and media formats blur together in contemporary big event storytelling. Personally, I think it's less about who delivered the message and more about how fans interpret those crossovers. First big idea: the surprise cameo as a narrative tool. Concept: the audience gets pulled from the current track into a familiar screen moment, a surprise that disrupts routine. In Hamilton's world, a famous TV presenter appearing on a big screen becomes a micro-event that competes for attention with the race itself. Interpretation: the moment exposes how sport leverages pop cultural icons to deepen viewer engagement. If a viewer recognizes Richard Hammond, the emotional resonance spikes for a subset of fans who grew up with Top Gear and the Grand Tour. It's a soft power play, associating Hamilton with a broader entertainment universe. Analysis: for Hamilton, this is a double-edged sword. It humanizes him as someone who's not just chasing laps but navigating a media ecosystem where moments outside the track influence his brand. It also tests public reaction: do fans see the cameo as warm and endearing or as an awkward hiccup? Personally, I think the reception hinges on shared memory. Hammond's familiar face triggers a collective recall that can soften the intensity of race week pressure. What it implies: a growing trend where teams and athletes curate experiences that cross into entertainment to build richer narratives. This isn't just about sponsorship, it's about identity in a media-saturated era. Second big idea: the emotional texture of the moment. Concept: Hamilton's reaction, confusion, humor, and polite gratitude, is as telling as the compliment itself. It shows vulnerability and authenticity in real time. Interpretation: the awkward laughter reads as relatable. He's acknowledged by a legend he watched on screen long ago, yet the real-world connection feels tenuous. From a storytelling perspective, that tension is gold: it's authentic, imperfect, and entertaining. Analysis: this moment frames Williams' brand drama with human scale. It's not a jaw-dropping revelation, but a small, honest breach of the superstar shield. If fans crave relatability, this kind of moment delivers. It also tempers the myth that all megastars have flawless optics every time a camera catches them. What it connects to: the psychology of celebrity encounters, how anticipation and memory shape our perception of rare interactions. It's also a nod to nostalgia as currency in sports media. Third big idea: the broader media context around F1's 2026 season. Concept: the race in Melbourne and the new regulations set a backdrop of tension and novelty. Hamilton's moment in Shanghai sits inside this larger arc: teams adapting to rules, fans recalibrating expectations, and media packaging racing as a multi-platform saga. Interpretation: a one-two punch of on-track drama and off-track storytelling. The season isn't just about who wins the race, it's about who captures attention when the action slows down or surprises you with a screen moment. Analysis: this trend favors flexible, story-rich media teams. It rewards creators who can interpret a race's texture, the heat of a close finish, the awkward charm of a celebrity cameo, and the micro-moments that become meme-worthy in hours. What this suggests about the sport: F1 is more than cars, it's a moving brand ecosystem. Expect more crossovers, more curated moments, and a stronger emphasis on fan experience, both live and online. Deeper insight: how this kind of moment reshapes fan expectations. Concept: fans increasingly expect entertainment to braid with sport, surprises, crossovers, and emotional bursts that aren't strictly the race. Interpretation: the Hammond cameo, the surprised reaction, and Hamilton's graceful pivot all train fans to see racing as a layered narrative rather than a linear results list. Analysis: if this becomes a durable pattern, teams will lean into curated experiences that blend racing, pop culture, and personal storytelling. This could raise the bar for media production values in F1 weekends and push fans to engage beyond trackside screens. What people misunderstand: some fans might assume every moment on stage must be perfect or perfectly connected to the result. In reality, imperfect moments can be more valuable for engagement because they feel human and shareable. Bigger trend: the sport's growth relies on expanding its storytelling universe, more cross-platform content, more accessibility, and more opportunities for fans to discover the sport through familiar media formats. Closing thought: what this little scene really teaches us. Personal takeaway: moments like this remind me that sports storytelling is as important as the competition itself. The value lies in the friction between expectation and surprise, the warmth of a familiar face, and the way a screen can conjure nostalgia in real time. Final question for viewers: do you think cameos like this enhance a Grand Prix weekend, or do they distract from the racing? How would you design a weekend that balances pure competition with cross-media storytelling? If you want, I can turn this into a tighter, grabby YouTube script with a dynamic hook line, a paced breakdown for each idea, and ready-to-film microsegments. Would you like the tone to be more jokey and light, or more sharp and analytical? Also, do you want me to add on-screen prompts and potential B-roll ideas to boost retention?